Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you're watching this. I'm just gonna dive right on in. I hope you're having a great day, and if not, I hope it gets better from here. So I'm gonna dive right in. This was a very interesting read, a very interesting collective that I'm tapping into today. First and foremost, our channeled songs for today are Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas and The Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson. Two songs I haven't heard in a really long time, so I was surprised to even get these. Synchronicities for today include 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 5, 5, 3, 2, 4, 7, 7, 7, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 2, 8, 1, 8, 2, 11, 6, 6, 6, 16, 61, 4, 4, 4, 23, 23. Someone here could be on a cruise or planning a cruise. Libra, hedgehogs, someone could have neck pain. Spring break. The road to El Dorado is important here. Yerba Mate is important. Limes, someone here could have a headache. Mandalas, Palo Santo, your name could be Christina. Archangel Michael is relevant, as well as the Bible verse, Philippians 3:2-1. No idea how I got that in all of this. Colombia, so someone here could be from Colombia, going to Colombia, or Colombian. Someone here could also be Christian or Catholic. You could be more logical based. Your name could be Miguel. We also had Archangel Chamuel pop up, as well as green and purple. So those are the synchronicities for today. And let's see what astrological house this reading will be in, this collective. We have the 11th house for hopes and goals here. So this will be about hopes and goals. What's the sign for today? Hi, hello. We have 4 for, that's Cancer. Cancer in the house of hopes and goals. Oh, interesting. That adds up. That makes the angel number 411, so that is relevant to somebody. Let's get into the charms, or not charms, sorry, runes. Goodness me. Let's get into the runes for today. Hi, hello, welcome in. Hi. Let's see. We have skullcap and roses. Very interesting. So I'll show these to you here. Skullcap encourages calm. So encouraging calm, protection during shadow work, obsessive thought loops, emotional boundaries and resilience. And then the rose is usually like love. It can also be very calming herb to work with. We also have, all forms of love, emotional healing, some more of that, beauty, sacred devotion, harmony, and balancing passion and compassion. So interesting. Okay, let's see what else. Hi, thank you for popping in. Thank you for the likes and for the roses. Thank you. Let's get into the Elder Fruit Art runes. Tell me more. Tell me more about this collective going on in their hopes and goals in Cancer. So first and foremost, we have, this is Urus for strength. And then we have, this is hello. Sowilo, there we go. I always struggle with the pronunciation of this one. Sowilo for success. Strength and success, great start. Great start. So we have one for resilience and healing, right? Love, compassion, healing, resilience. Cancer in the house of hopes and goals. Fascinating. Let's get charms. Tell us more details, please. More details. Oh, very little. Okay. We have intuition. The intuition charm here, so a little bit of an intuitive nudge, and spiral thinking, and the little stars. Whenever I see that, and I also have hopes and goals, that tells me that there's some spiral think around our dreams. Spiral think around our dreams. Fascinating. So that is our runes, our dice, and our charms. Let's tap into the tarot, figure out what's going on here. Oh, you want to see? Which one did you want to see? Let me know what you want to see and I'll put it back up there for you, okay? The spiral? Sure. Absolutely. My little spiral charm. You go right ahead and you can screenshot it or anything you want to do with that. Yes, so very interesting read thus far. You're welcome. I'm going to tap into the tarot. Now, for those of you who are new, I don't do personal yes-no questions. I don't like putting your personal business out there. However, right, I know we want our answers. So as I do this big collective, this very first part, all I ask for you to do, you don't have to give me anything. You don't have to pay me anything. You don't got to drop a follower, like, although they are very much appreciated. All I ask is, oh, thanks. All I ask is that you think your question as I'm pulling, and whatever comes out with these specific cards will be your answer, okay? That's how I roll. I don't like knowing your personal business, and I don't want you to put that on the internet. That's just, we don't need to know what hurts. Hi. Okay. So, we're gonna get into what's going on with the collective. Yes. Now, I did get this Bible verse, which was crazy to me because I don't normally channel those, but it's Philippians 3:2-1, and it talks about the transformation of mortal bodies into glorified ones, which tells me like leaving behind the shadow side, or at least embracing it and becoming a more spiritual being. So like leaving behind the darker spiral things, leaving behind the parts of us that are harmful and stuff like that. So very, very interesting. Thank you for the share. Okay. Spirits of the divine order of the highest good. What is happening with the collective right now? Tell me what's going on with the collective. And answer any question that someone is thinking at this moment in time. Thank you. We're hard work. Working hard towards our dreams and our goals here. So very balanced energy. If you had a question, right? A yes-no question right now that you were thinking, your answer is yes. Craftsmanship, hard work, commitment, dedication. I had that sacred devotion here. We're working hard towards our dreams, towards healing. Very interesting. Oh, I got another one. But so that's 2 8s. Very interesting, because that leads up to the Strength card in Tarot, which is all about quieting the inner critic, the inner parasite. That's also the number for karma. Karma, strength, power. That's very fascinating. So if you were thinking a question just now, especially in matters of the heart, the answer is no. If it was about something relating to work, it would be a yes. Working hard towards leaving something behind. Moving on. Fascinating. Oh, I just saw patience up here too. So it's like steady work. Both of them also involve the solar plexus, so our confidence as well. Absolutely fascinating. Okay. Tell me more, Spirit. Tell me more, Spirit, on what is going on with the collective at this time regarding their hopes and dreams in Cancer. Getting our priorities straight. When I see cards that fall horizontally like this, right, that means that's our current energy. We go back and forth, back and forth. So on this working hard towards leaving something behind, towards moving on, we're trying to get our priorities straight. If you had a yes/no question, the answer is maybe. And it literally is sideways too, so it's maybe. Yeah, maybe. Practice your discernment, okay? Practice your discernment. Yeah, juggling priorities, trade-offs, this and that. Ooh, that pulls into the collective I pulled this morning, the Oracle pull, this and that. Which one? Pros and cons. Yeah, what do I need to hold? What's too heavy? Tell me more. What's going on with the collective at this time, Spirit, please? I see here the Page of Swords in reversed. So if you are asking a question about communication, right? Am I going to get a specific message from someone? Is someone going to reconcile with me? The answer is no. Especially if there's someone who's prone to being very guarded and saying passive-aggressive remarks. And if they're a Gemini. If they're a Gemini, it's definitely a no. But we have this, yeah, balancing. Getting our priorities straight. Someone who's unconcerned with the feelings of others, problems, hypocrisy, malice. Thank you for the follow. There's that 333 that popped up. Getting our priorities straight. And I see here a King of Wands in reversed as well. Which King of Wands in reversed is usually like people who feel like they need to prove themselves. Yeah. Oh, okay. So we're paying attention to things and people, right? Who are hypocritical, they're liars, who focus on themselves only, don't really care about the feelings of others, who might be more prejudiced. Fascinating. That's not how I work, friend. What I do is I pull for the collective like this big overarching reading. You don't gotta give me anything. I just ask that you think your question, and as I pull, a card will come out, and that will be your answer. Okay, that's it. Yeah. So yeah, there's like this stagnant energy. What's keeping me stuck? What's keeping me stagnant? If you have a question regarding forward momentum, the answer is no. Especially if they're a fire sign. Okay. Returning from travel or holidays, bad timing, out of control, too fast a pace. Yeah, out of control. Priorities not straight, finding balance. Yeah, working hard towards moving on from things that are out of balance. Reprioritizing. Looking at things that might be hostile, not really putting in the work like to keep that relationship going, or like if it's a specific, yeah, this is hopes and goals, especially in Cancer. So it could also be like familial, who in my family is treating me well, are these relationships working, you know, is there a balance, am I feeling stuck, should I stay, that type of thing. Tell me more on what's going on with the collective at this time, please, Spirit. Yeah, the moon with that Cancer again. And I see the star here in reversed. I have to cover her because she's naked. Star reversed. So shining a light on things in the dark. Right? Shining a light on things in the dark. And seeing what's not healing. What's causing hopelessness, despair. Who out there is focusing on the negative. Lack of faith, lack of inspiration, lack of creativity, boredom, stagnation. Yeah, because the moon is all about the path may not be clear, but my intuition lights the way one step at a time. Like it's really paying attention, using that discernment, looking at things. The universe shows me that I can have faith in my dreams. Who's squashing your dreams? Welcome in, Julie. Thank you for the follow, and thank you all for the likes. I do see you. To answer your question, friend, like I said, as I pull for this big collective message, all I ask is you think your question, and whatever card I pull while you're thinking your question, that's your answer, okay? So we have a yes, no, we have a no and a no. So if there's anything hidden, if you're asking about like hidden things, the answer is no. 2 no's. So very, very interesting. Very interesting. I'll pull a couple more and then I'll move on to the next part. Tell me more on what's going on with the collective at this time. Yeah, it's just shining a light. Who around me or what around me is lying to me, is being deceptive? What's causing me to keep my mask on, keep my guard up, my armor? And do I want to keep that in my life? Who's squashing my dreams, telling me I can't do things? Who, by the power that enables him to bring everything under his control, will transform our lowly bodies so that they will be like his glory. The Six of Cups in reversed, returning to one's roots. Yeah, so heavy in that familial energy. Letting go of the past, focusing on the future, growing up, leaving home. Letting go of the past, focusing on the future. Yeah, it's like, what's keeping me stuck? What's keeping me in this past energy? I can't go forward. What's keeping me in this, I can't do things, I can't go after my dreams, I'm not allowed to have them? What's keeping me in this dark, murky area? Thank you, Man Ray. Let's do 3 more, and I'll move on to the next part. Thank you. The Strength card, I said this one over and over and over again. Yes, for this one before, if you had a question of like, will I reconcile with my past? Will someone come back to me from the past? The answer is no. All right? Especially if they're a Scorpio. This one though, will I overcome something? If it requires you to be brave, if it requires strength, the answer is yes. Thank you. Strength begins with the choice to be kind to myself. Yeah, the Strength card is all about our intuition. Not really our intuition. It's like the balanced part of ourselves, right? Like the Philippians 3:2:1 talks about, stepping out of living in these really negative emotions, these more animalistic type things, and stepping more into our actual like spiritual mind. So the type that operates in between. Right? And is like, no, quiet. Right now we're going through spiral think. Right now we're focusing on the negative. That's not, just because we're thinking negative thoughts does not mean that that is what's actually happening. Okay? What happens when I step out of my emotions, right? Step out of my impulsiveness, right? This like step out of my temper a little bit and I start actually paying attention, right? Overcoming self-doubt. That just popped out to me right there. Overcoming self-doubt. Focus. Yes, stepping out of that. What happens? Who around me is promising and not being able to deliver? Who around me is a bit reckless? Who around me is stepping on other people? Flaky. Yeah, who around me does not have passion? One more for what is going on with the collective right now. So yeah, so it kind of looks like we're doing a life audit. Specifically around the people around us too. But whoever doesn't like contribute to your hopes and your goals. So let's say this is Cancer in hopes and goals. So maybe you're looking for romance. Maybe you're someone who wants a family at some point. Well, you're taking stock of the relationships, your options, and you're going, who actually fits that bill? Who actually wants to build this with me? Right? Instead of just who is singing, sonnets and all of that stuff. Is this really aligned? Like, is this moving forward? Are we heading in that direction? Are they treating me well? That type of thing. Doesn't have to be relationships, right? It's just popped up here with the rose and all of that. But it's definitely wherever in your life you have a lot of negative thinking, where you have big hopes and goals, that is the area where you're taking stock. Yeah, is this worth my time? What do I need to take off my plate in order to focus more on what I want? Yeah, the Magician. This manifestation. So yeah. Big life changes. What tower am I resisting? What big life change am I currently resisting? Yeah, delaying the inevitable. Time to pick up the pieces and start anew with the tower here. Big changes. Interesting. It's like I know I need to make a change, but I'm afraid to do it. Yeah, even though I'm calling for this new change. Yes, we're actively working towards it, but it's a little bit scary. It looks scary. So it might be a really big... Yeah, it might be like, it's your hopes and your goals. These are things you aspire to. Yeah, I want to get rid of this. I want to get rid of people who do this. It could even be lying to myself, telling myself I can't have these things. Fascinating. That intuitive nudge. I know in my heart I should be heading in this direction, but I am afraid to take the leap. So now I'm looking at everything and going, okay, I want to move forward, but I need to let go of what's stuck. The things that are keeping me anchored here. That's what I need to be working to get rid of. Okay. So, we have our what's going on. Let's dive into why you even need to hear this today. The Marigold wants to talk, so we'll hear it. We'll hear it. We shall ask. I always see this deck as the shadow work deck, which is interesting because we had Skullcap, so like diving into our subconscious. They can be a little intense. She can be quite the intense little deck, but she dives in and she tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, what you need to hear. So let's see. Spirits of the divine order of the highest good. Why does the collective watching this video at this moment in time need to hear this right now? Thank you. We have the King of Pentacles, because we're trying to get stability. Whether that's through a specific partner, right? The King of Rings is the King of Pentacles, so they are the Empress's favorite son. They're very reliable, practical, stable, secure, grounded, practical. Now, this is either someone you're looking for or it's you. Either way, we're chasing this. We're going towards this. This is the ideal right here. We're in this energy. That's what we're looking for. Tell me more on why they need to hear this at this time, please, Spirit. Thank you. Yes, this requires a brand new start. We're inspired. We're inspired to find that balance in our life, with the Page of Wands being inspiration, looking around and feeling inspired to make changes. Temperance is the angelic card, right? It's all about, I always think of it as like when you're trying to get like Goldilocks, getting the water just right, a little bit of spice, a little bit of cold, you know, getting it just right. So we're inspired. Yeah, this is a change that we have been inspired to make. We aspire to this. We aspire to that balance to bring us here. Yes, that's why we're hearing this at this time. Tell me more on why. Thank you. We're avoiding the necessary change. We're afraid to make it. That's the second time the towers come out in the reversed. We're afraid to make it. It's scary, but let me ask you something. Do you want to stay somewhere in a tower that the foundation is off? Where if the wind is strong enough, the whole thing falls over. Where there's drafts, where there's leaks. Do you really want to stay there? No, probably not. You want to be in the tower that's going to actually keep you safe from lightning, from earthquakes, from those types of things. That'll keep you warm and sheltered. So why are you staying somewhere that is not serving you? You know? And I understand. There's times where we don't have the money to move just yet, you know. I understand. You know your situation, okay? But there's some form of major life change that we need to make that we're afraid of making, even though it will be incredibly beneficial to make. Tell me more on why they need to hear this at this time, please, Spirit. Yeah, we have options. Ooh, that's why we have options. And that moon card again. It's hard to choose. There's options, but it feels like foggy. I don't know which one to pick, right? Because they could be good or they could be really bad. I don't know. That's why we're in that moon card, which we saw the moon card earlier, right? Intuition, illusion, instability, anxiety, subconscious, past conditioning affects present behavior. Yes, so we may be thinking every choice is a bad choice when that's not really the case. Thank you for the follow. Tell me more on why they need to hear this at this time, please, Spirit. Okay. Yeah, it's overwhelming. There's so many choices. The Knight of Wands in the reverse. Yeah. That again. Why you need to hear it? Yeah, we're worried that the new choices will be more of this. Will be more of this flaky, flighty. So if it's relationships and stuff like that, we're worried they're gonna cheat again. If it's not relationships, we're worried that whatever it is not gonna deliver the promise. So like, if it's a new job, it's gonna not pay you enough, or it's gonna make you work many hours, or if it's like a move, maybe we'll have a really hard time. So it's like whatever we're aspiring to, we're worried that it's all gonna, the glamour and illusion is gonna fade away and it's gonna fall back into that negative reality that we're trying to leave from. Yes, we're worried about this. We're inspired to be this King of Pentacles or to find our King of Pentacles. But the options that are out there, it's scary. It's safer and easier to stay where we're familiar with the pain. You know what I mean? Two of Wands. Yeah, we want to make plans. The Two of Wands is all about plans and travel. I want to make plans. I'm inspired to make plans. I'm inspired to change towards my happiness. The Ten of Cups is emotional fulfillment. Towards my happiness, towards my goals, towards the things I aspire to. But it's scary. It's scary. Because it requires quite a huge leap of faith without knowing what's on the other side. Yeah, Four of Pentacles. That puts us in that scarcity mindset. That lack mindset. Well, it'd be better to just stay where I am. To be with, at least, what's the word? It's like, if I leave this, then I'll have to be alone. You know? Which there's nothing wrong with that, right? Yeah. I'll go back to this. I'll go back to this, like, I'd rather just stay where I know that I am not comfortable, but I'll stay where I'm familiar with what is going to happen, the routine I'm used to, because new could hurt me worse, you know? Last two on why you need to hear this at this time. Thank you for the follows. Yeah. Ooh, judgment calls in the reverse. We're being super judgmental. Super judgmental. Yeah, it feels like, yeah, it will be like, I want to make plans, but I feel like all of them, if I leave, it'll be like being punished. I'm going to be punished. I'm going to be punished, or it's going to fall flat. Yeah. Like no one will catch me. I'm not doing personals at this time. That's not how I roll. I've already put away my yes, no, maybe cards. Sideways. The Hanged Man. We're trying to, yep, we're working on a perspective shift. We're working on it. Sometimes we're stuck here. We don't want to change. We don't want to see things different. We're comfortable staying in the same old, same old. And other times we want things to be different. We're looking at it a different way. I need to make a change. This is not, I'm not comfortable here. Yeah, I want my happiness. I want my happiness. We're working on flipping our perspective on how we get our happiness. Last one on why they need to notice at this time. Thank you. I'm tired of being bored. I'm tired of being bored. The Four of Cups is all about apathy, boredom, that type of thing, not being satisfied. So when it's in the reverse, it's I'm tired of being this. I'm tired of going through the same old, same old. Yeah, so it's like we're already inspired to make this change. We're tired of going through the same stuff. It's scary. It's a scary move because we don't know. Yeah, it requires us to just start this small. The pentacle being offered is really small. The change, it's not showing up and being like, if it's like someone who you could be a life partner with, it's not like a person just shows up with a neon sign that says, I am the perfect candidate to be your partner. Here's all the reasons why, you know? And it's like, they don't get to write it. That's just kind of above their head, like a little blurb. Instead, it's, we have no way of knowing, and that's really scary. You know, if it's like a new job, like I said, we don't really know how it's going to pan out. So it's like, ooh, do I just stay where I'm used to stuff, even though it sucks, or do I make that jump? So we're currently working through, like, instead of thinking every option is a bad one, we're working through how to make necessary changes and just take the leap and see what happens. So I'm going to get into what you even need to do about this at this time. Because I can tell you what, I can tell you why, but we all want to know what we should do about it. So, let's see. I'm feeling purple. I'm feeling the Everyday Tarot on what you need to do about it at this time. Spirits of the Divine Order of the Highest Good, what does the collective watching this video need to do about this at this time? Thank you. Three of Wands. Interesting. The Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is travel. It's waiting for our ships to come in. Thank you for the follow. You see how she's looking at the horizon? Waiting for the wands, waiting for the ships. Interesting. Waiting for the ships to come in. Can you clarify this, please, Spirit? Because I don't think you want them to just keep waiting and waiting and waiting. Clarify this Three of Wands here, please. Let me slow down a little. Clarify the Three of Wands, please. The High Priestess. So we got a 3 here. To clarify that, it's follow your intuition. Oh, follow your intuition in order to have a victory over this Queen of Pentacles in the reversed. Okay, so they want for you to follow your intuition. Wait for your downloads, okay? When you get those downloads, to overcome the feeling of this, not having enough time, not feeling very stable, not feeling very secure. Okay. What else do they need to do? Because telling them to just sit and wait is kind of rude, Spirit. Come on. What else do they need to do at this time? Okay. You're going to have to disappoint someone. There's that Tower again. Yeah, you're going I don't know what you, like, if it's a person or a situation, you know your situation best. You're going to have to disappoint somebody. Whatever this tower is that you had, that I have seen you resisting twice in this read now, you're going to have to make it. And someone's going to feel a way about it. That does not matter. It's necessary. Yep. It's necessary. What else do they need to do about it at this time? You don't need to rush this process, is what I get from the first part, where I was like, what do you mean wait, right? What do you mean wait for the downloads, right? No, they want for you to follow your intuition. They don't want you to rush this process, but you are going to have to do this. Yeah, you're going to have to do this. That's funny. You're going to have to do this. There's that Page of Swords. Upright, though. Which we had them in reversed earlier in what's happening. Significant information. Inspiration. Planning. Oh, mentally and physically dexterous. So yeah, even though it's a little bit scary, here, you're going to have this conversation, and you're going to have to follow that inspiration and make those plans in order to get to here. Okay? Yeah. So they're telling you, right, to take your time in this little endeavor here in order to overcome this feeling of not having enough, of not receiving what you should be, of our time and our energy and our resources being all over the place. We're going to have to make that cut. You have to. It's so necessary. That tower's shown up 3 times here. Twice in the reverse of resisting that change, and then them telling you you have to have the tower in order to make those plans. Yeah. Don't rush it. What else on what they should do at this time, Spirit? Yeah, okay, and if this is a relationship type of thing, please don't jump into another one right away just to save yourself from being lonely. All right? Don't do that to yourself. Hi, R. Beautiful. I'm glad that resonated for you, Brandy. If you ever want a personal reading on more details, link in bio. If not, if this is all you needed, go. Be happy. Be happy, follow your path, get your clarity, you go. I got you. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, R. So yeah, if this is a relationship that we're leaving behind that's necessary, please do not, love you too, please do not jump into another one while we're still not sure, okay? Don't do that to yourself. That's how we end up in trauma bonds and in karmic relationships. If this is not a specific relationship that we're hoping for, or dreams and goals and stuff like that, mainly it's don't just pick a new cup, okay? This is not telling you to not pick up anything, all right? But they don't want you to just pick up a cup, all right? They want for you to wait for the divine to hand it to you. You're like, well, what does that even mean? You know, like, do I wait for the magical hand to just come through and hand me the thing? No. What that means is you need to listen to your intuition, listen to your heart, right? And only pick the option that checks all the boxes, okay? All the boxes. That's how you get that 10 of Cups that we're looking for. I told you, make the plans. What else they need to do about this at this time? Yeah, but don't just pick a new thing and cause yourself to end up back in the loop of, oh, well, I just have to pick the first opportunity handed to me, because if I don't, I will suffer. No. That's how we end up right back at square one, okay? Hold out a little bit. If this is super resonating for you, I would highly recommend you go watch my read from before that's called Sleep on It. That applies here. This would be your extended reading. Yeah. Because that ties in. That collective specifically was talking about waiting before making a new decision. And not through analysis paralysis. Yeah. Sideways, the Hierophant. So figure out if you're going to do things. Ooh. Hold on. Oh, okay. So as we're going through, they want for you to... Hi, Rosie. They also want for you to get clear on what your traditions are. Not what everyone tells you it is, what yours are, right? This is the transformative energy. And Hierophant is more like religion, not transformation, tradition, things being the tried and true, steps leading the way, you know, like what we always do, what we're told is the correct path. No, they don't want you to do that. They want for you to figure out what your traditions are. Okay. Oh, and I just saw the Ace of Pentacles pop out here in the reversed as well. So yeah, we got to figure out what our traditions are, because again, if we just pick a random cup, it's going to be more of the same. Missing opportunities, all right? Now this is not to cause you any fear or panic. This is them giving you that gentle nudge and guidance in order to help you heal that internalized pain and the things that keep you up at night. Okay? If you don't want to go back to square one, the answer is simple. You wait for all of the boxes to be checked. Compromise is fine, right? But you know what will actually make you happy. A lot of you have already been through enough shit in order to understand what you don't want, so don't accept more of it. All right, last one for what you need to do about it. And then I'm going to do something different. Normally I do a recap, but I don't feel like I need to do one. I don't. I will not post this on my TikTok later. I'm going to make my lives, the videos I get from this, I'm just going to put them over on my YouTube. I'm just going to try it. We're going to see how it goes. Yeah. They don't want you to continue the repeating cycle of indecision and analysis paralysis. Okay? Yep. That's your little mind prison. They don't want you to live here. No. No more of that. Okay? That's what they want from you. Yeah, because all it does is keep you here, holding on to the things that make you comfortable even though it sucks. Okay? When you're supposed to be this Empress, there we go. When you're supposed to be this instead. They really got you really over here like this. Oh, beautiful. That's wonderful, R. I'm going to be uploading a lot. I have so many videos to edit, but I'm going to be uploading a lot over there. So you'll be seeing more live recordings and shortened ones and stuff like that. I'm trying stuff out. I'm making some changes, learning, tweaking, not tweaking, that's not the word, learning, adjusting as I go. So now that we have all that beautiful information, I want to get into the Oracle advice cards for you guys, so that we can figure out what your advice is, and I can release you into the wilds. Let me just make some room here real quick. That card just flew off and hit itself. One of my cards hit itself. So that's interesting. Oh, it was that King of Pentacles. This elusive little King of Pentacles keeps hiding. Keeps hiding. It feels hidden. Oh, I love it. I'm glad that you found me. I'm glad you're here. Because I hope this kind of stuff resonates with somebody. Otherwise, I'm just speaking nonsense into the void, and I don't want that. So, who are we thinking? I'm looking at my Oracle decks here, and I want to know who wants to talk today. Yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling this deck. This deck wants to talk. This one was given to me by the lovely R, and it's one where you get to write on it. So it's all of the things that I have channeled from Spirit or have said on this account and everywhere else I'm on the internet. And we'll see what those words have to say here. Thank you for the likes. Interesting. I always find it interesting what comes out, because these ones are also pretty blunt, but I'm kind of a blunt person, so let's see. Okay. It is my intention that if you come across my page, if you see my face here or anywhere else that I am on the internet, that your burdens are lifted and you leave feeling lighter. I see myself as the campfire that you rest at during your dark night of the soul before you go face the final boss, which is often you. So, Spirit, let's ease their fears and soothe their anxieties, give them their clarity that they need in order to continue walking along the path. Please and thank you. Spirit of the Divine Order of the Highest Good, what is the closing advice for the collective watching this video regarding their situation? Okay, so those headaches you may be feeling at this time are ascension symptoms. What that means is you are actively evolving, actively growing. So you will feel these things, right? Whenever you have headaches, that's because we are often healing our crown chakra and our third eye. So our discernment and our inner knowing, okay? We also have, this is in order to help you heal the guilt-shame loop that you are constantly in, right? Which keeps you stuck in these specific relationships or scenarios. So we're actively being guided on healing this part of us. Oh, interesting. This is also reversed. So, not listening to other people's opinions. This says, unless they are living your life or paying your bills, their opinion is irrelevant. So, not really listening to other opinions. So that's basically it. You'll hear an opinion, you'll go into a guilt-shame loop. Into that spiral. Into that little spiral. Yep, and again, could be family with that Cancer. All those critiques. Yes, that's what we're healing right now at this time. What other closing advice do you have for the collective here, Spirit, regarding this Cancer in the House of Hopes and Goals? Goodness, that is a lot of flippers. A lot of undercurrents that are hidden beneath that do not want to come out. It's kind of like hiding. Thank you. This was also in the reversed. So we're also healing our tendency to be over humble. This is the part of us that accepts less than what we deserve, less than what we're worth, that accepts these opinions and then makes that our, oh, I have to operate this way. That's why we're going through this weird, funky energy, why we have this mental fog, why everything feels kind of hazy, why we have these headaches, why we feel really tired, is because we're working through this part of our journey of learning how to choose ourselves, of learning how to go, actually, no, that is not for me. Hello, friends. Hello, people who just joined in. I've already put away my yes-no cards for now, so I will not be answering those at this time. Yep, and ending the cycle of overgiving, especially when it comes to the narcissist empath paradigm, right? The overgivers and the overtakers. Some of you may be dealing with one of these. Some of you, it's not necessarily that drastic, but it's here to highlight the difference between someone who really cares for other people, the people pleasers, the self-abandoners, versus the ones who continuously take because they are forever insecure within themselves and require external validation in order to feel loved. Yep, that's what we're healing right now. All of these are in reversed. That's exactly what we're going through, is healing this portion of ourselves. There's Archangel Michael as well. He's currently helping you with this, whether you believe in him or not. That is what he does. He's a protector, a fighter, and he often governs the throat chakra. So your expression, you speaking up for yourself, standing up for yourself. You're welcome. We'll do 3 more. What inspires you is already within you. So this inspiration that you have to be this King of Pentacles, to be this stable, practical, reliable, wealthy type of person, does not have to be wealth and money matters. You know you best, okay? It's whatever would make you feel secure and stable in life. It's already in you. What we are inspired by is already within us. We just have not, we don't know exactly how to unlock it yet. Okay? Doesn't mean you'll never be that. You just have to figure out how to get there. And we're learning to move in silence. We're learning to not tell everybody our business. Because usually when you tell people your business, especially your hopes and your goals, don't they just love to shit all over it? Don't they just love to tell you all the reasons why it's not realistic and how it's not going to work? Isn't that interesting? Funny. 3 more. I just said 3 more. Well, 3 more it is. 3 more on closing advice for this collective about their hopes and goals in Cancer. Yeah, so the only people you should be telling your business is your spiritual team, whomever you believe in, and people you really, really trust, who have always been there for you, who never ever poo all over your dreams, and who actually have your back. You know who those people are. Okay? And if you do tell them your business and they do poo on it, stop telling them your business. This one fell, so it's clearly important. Trying to be the master before you are the apprentice. You're also healing this. Trying to be perfect at everything before you've even started. There's a whole lot of reversed here. So that's telling me we're working through a lot. Working through a whole lot here. Yeah, we're working through a whole lot. Yeah, we're trying to be like 10 years ahead of where we're currently at, because we feel like we have to be perfect at everything too. So you gotta be new. Everyone was new once. No one's mad at you for being new. It's okay. Especially if it's a new relationship as well, right? Again, leaving behind this. So someone who expects you to do everything all the time, be perfect at it, yada, yada, yada. You know? Yeah, and again, we're not. The PRS method, that's funny. In the reverse, we don't feel like we have it together. Not at all. No. So if you're someone who is, I highly recommend this specific person. She goes by Jules here on TikTok. I'm not sponsored. I'm not affiliated. It's just a really solid method. Helps. It's called Prettier, Richer, Smarter. So how you get... how you show up for yourself, take care of yourself, how you grow your mind, how you achieve your goals and dreams in a much more sustainable, practical way. But without all the fluff and the BS. It's a free planner. You can get it for free. A digital one, gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. But yeah, we don't feel... Yeah, people who are totally fine watching us struggle. Watching us struggle, overwork ourselves, and then expect us to be this perfect person, even though we're like barely running. Yep. Not those people. Don't tell those people your business. Especially if they critique you all the time. And healing the negative thought spiral. I am, I create. Our subconscious mind is a proving mind. So it hears what we say, it sees what we consciously think, and then it goes out and seeks ways to prove us correct. The more we're aware of this, the more we are aware that we are not always running on autopilot, and that we actually have active control of our thoughts. Yes, even the ones of you who have mental health, I have mental health issues, I understand. It can be a bit more difficult, but yes, you can control some of your thoughts. You can catch yourself in the moment, and you can figure out how to work with it, okay? We're healing that as well. And like, yeah, we're afraid to do that because we don't want to be mean, because we don't want to be out in the unfamiliar. we're afraid of this, but it's time for you to do that, okay? Yep. And every time you get into those moments of spiral think, you need to get out of your head and do something else. Especially if it's something you're agonizing over. Yeah, they've all been upside down, haven't they? Except for this one, right? It's whenever I see them in reverse, it's because we're not doing it. We're resisting that. Or in the case of like the ascension symptoms, it's telling me that we're leaving that stuff behind. We're actively working through healing it. This one though is definitely that tower reverse, being afraid to just cut things. And then this one, whenever you have negative thought spirals, whenever you are the one that is putting out the evil eye, you're the one that's kind of causing the negative spiral think. You're listening to other people's opinions and you're applying it to your life. You're accepting it as fact. You need to go put yourself somewhere else, focus somewhere else, do some somatic therapy, dancing, moving, listening to music, something else to take your mind off of it, just for a little bit, okay? That way we're not just living up here. Because if we live up here, it's way, way, way too easy. The best way I can put it is your mind is a clear blue sky and all of your thoughts are clouds that drift through. The more you focus on a specific cloud, the more it grows into a giant storm. At any point in time, you can just stop focusing on the cloud. You can tell the cloud to keep on floating. Right on out of there. I mean, it's tough to do at first, it takes some practice, but it does actually help, you know? It does actually help. Yes. So, that is what I have for you today. You're welcome. Yeah, it definitely, it helps. It helps a lot. It helped me, right? It helped me to actually visualize my thoughts as little clouds, and then whenever I was like, because I go through this. I have spiral think. I'm a bit of an obsessive thinker, hypercritical, that kind of energy. Whenever I think, oh, I'm hyper focused on this one thing, this thought, and it's turning into a storm. I don't want it to be a storm, so I release it. And I send it on its way, right? And then it's good. It's fine. It'll come back. Right? Because it's an active thing we're worried about, but like the less we turn it into a storm, the easier it is to come up with solutions. Okay? So, that is all I have for you today. I hope that was helpful. If you were, oh no, sorry. Getting ahead of myself. Thank you for your time, your energy, for choosing me to be your reader for today. I really appreciate you for being here and for allowing me any of your time. If you are interested in a personal reading, I offer those at the link in my bio. Please feel free to check it out, see if I vibe with you. As I have said in past collectives, I am changing my shop to be a bit more specific. That should be fully updated by Friday, tomorrow, as well as my Patreon, where I'll be doing fun stuff over there. I've already recorded some stuff for it. But yeah, please feel free to check that out. If you're watching this from YouTube, when I post it later, that link will be in the description box down below. If you do not vibe with me and don't want to follow me, and this is the last I see you, thank you for being here, for giving me any of your time at all. I wish the best for you. I wish you luck, joy, peace, prosperity, health, wealth, happiness, and healing on your journey. Please remember that life is an ever crooked path and you are never off of it, okay? And if you have chosen to follow me and you do like my vibe, thank you so much. I appreciate you and I wish all the same for you. And yeah, I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.